You know what's interesting is I wonder if that the Liverpool executives are a little scarred by the Darwin Núñez signing, man. Because for me, he's been a bust this season, bro. And I'm going to go ahead and say it. He doesn't even start anymore. He's fully healthy. When he does play and he gets an opportunity, I'm going to say the majority of the time, he doesn't finish them. And that's the only reason why he's on the pitch. I think this season specifically, Nunez has proved that he has a lot of work to do. Just personally, how to figure out space, how to utilize his runs more effectively, and most importantly, how to finish in a really tough league. Because I don't think he can do any of those things. I think he has the physicality. He has the athleticism. He has the right idea, right? The idea of that he's always on that back line, always looking for a really good and effective run. But I just do think he falters pretty much in every way when he does get the opportunity to go forward, whether it's on the ball, in the build-up play, or in front of goal. And this past week when they played Arsenal, which was a crazy game, by the way, it was even more jarring for me personally when Bobby Firmino scored. Because it made me realize how fucking good Roberto Firmino was in his prime for Liverpool.
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah.
And miles ahead of Darwin. Miles.
Yeah. Him and Sadio Mane, just the role that they played for this Liverpool squad, they were the offensive identity of this team outside of Mo Salah. And given that two of them, Sadio Mane isn't at the team anymore, and Roberto Firmino doesn't get the minutes that he used to and isn't at the level that he used to be at, right. You see the ripple effects of that, man. Yeah. This season specifically, too.
Yeah. And my question to you is then...
what's wrong?
Nunez, bro, he's not good.
I'm not there yet. I'm not there. I'm going to defend my boy.
You see the potential.
I see potential, and I still see a lot of... I don't think he's been as wasteful as you're presenting him to be. I don't. Still with about 15 goals, I think, within all competitions. That's a rough estimate. He hasn't really had a string of games, which granted you are right about, where he started consistently. I think Klopp is hesitant to give him that because there's been games where, yes, he gets himself into great positions. Great at making runs, great at being in that spot, but his finishing is very questionable at times. I will say that for sure. But I see potential. I see a very raw product, which is what we advertised it as when he got signed from Benfica. We said both together that he is very, very raw. Very raw. Yes. He had these incredible numbers in Portugal. He thrived in that league, and he would be tougher over here in England, and he's a very raw product. And so I feel like we're just seeing the effects of that. I see that he's at the very least earned himself the right to have a couple more years to continue trying, because given that he's finished enough opportunities to at least yield himself a somewhat respectable tag alongside his name, I'm not going to go as far as you have. And I think if he has another season like this, then I start getting very worried. And then I start being very, very harsh on him. But not yet. I'm not there yet, especially with how much we spent and the number of highlights that we have seen from him, man. Showing up and stepping up big in that Real Madrid game when we were up 2-0 in the 20th minute against them, and then the defense went to shit, right? Not much of that was on his fault. I do think there's been moments. There's been moments against top teams where he has shown up and shown that potential. He just has to do it more consistently. And if he can do that another season, if he can show us one season from now that he is capable of that, then I do think it would end up being worth it. But so far, yes, I do think the point you made about the board and how they're seeing this transfer so far, I am aligned with that. They're getting a little scared. Yeah. They're getting a little scared, and they're just not used to signing a player and not seeing him pop the fuck off as they have with every other single player that they had with Van Dijk, Thiago, Mo Salah, Fabinho, Alisson, having incredible seasons their first year with Liverpool. Yeah. Nunez is having a little bit of trouble, and now they're getting very hesitant.
I think for me, I put the pressure on Nunez to lead the line. And to lead the line, you have to do something like Firmino did in his prime for Liverpool, which is to build, be incredibly productive offensively, and score goals. Nunez, in my opinion, has not done any of that. He's only showed up in moments, in very little moments, in my opinion, throughout the entire scope of the season. So that's why I'm very critical on him. But absolutely, I'm still going to give him a chance. I'm just saying he's got a lot of work on. And I think that space between where he's at now and where he needs to be might be a little too big. And I get very scared because we saw something very similar in Timo Werner. A guy who was scoring goals for fun in the Bundesliga with Leipzig. Mm-hmm. Couldn't catch him, they said in German. Chelsea get him for a lot of money,
Yes, sir.
and what happens? Bust.
Yeah.
Pure bust.
Yeah.
And where is he now? Where's he back? He's back in Germany.
He's back in Germany, brother.
So I just get a little scared when it comes to Nunez because he was just as explosive outside of the Prem. Comes to Liverpool, and I just, again, off the ball, I see the same explosiveness. With it, I don't. And so I think that's tough because, for example, like look at Cody Gakpo. When he's on the ball, sure he's not scoring. Sure he's not assisting as much as he probably was at PSV. You see it, though. You see why he's a top player. And you understand, just his first touch,
Yeah.
exceptional.
Yeah, he can build, bro. Nunez can't build.
At all.
He struggles so much with
At all.
like his first touch. It's a heavy fucking touch.
It's
bro.
a heavy touch.
It is. I don't know if we're seeing him. I don't know if we can make the straight comparison 101 from him to Firmino and Nunez. I think they play differently. I think that's more.
They do.
I think that's more
But
Gakpo's,
I'm talking about output, man. Because at the end of the day, Firmino's going to retire in the next 2 years.
Right.
Like at the end of the day, Nunez is the heir to Firmino. He has to be the guy who leads the line for Liverpool.
I would say he's the other to Mane more than Firmino. I think Gakpo's more Firmino.
And okay,
or Jota or Luis Diaz, for example.
Okay,
yeah.
from okay, now we're getting into semantics. I think from a style perspective, yes.
Yeah.
But I think from a striker output perspective, Nunez needs to be the guy who scores the goals.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. And I just think the work that he has to put in, he's going to have a hell of an offseason.
Yeah, because the height that he has to reach is essentially what Fernando Torres was for Liverpool and what Luis Suarez was for Liverpool.
Yes.
That's what he has to achieve.
Right.
I get it. And he's not there. He's not there yet.
He's not even
He's
close
not
to there, bro.
I don't know if he's that far off. I think he has the potential to be there. So for me, that's enough because I think the difference with Werner, what we saw from him in the Prem, I don't think we saw that potential. I think we saw a dead end once we saw Timo Werner try to perform in the Prem. We saw no real ability to be able to adapt and to, show really good moments or highlights of what could become if he becomes a more consistent player when
Right.
it comes to scoring goals and assisting. He was having some duds, bro. Where at the very least, Darwin Núñez is showing that he can score. He's in double digits right now in the Prem, I believe. And then he's not scoring a lot in all competitions, but this Liverpool team has also not been that great alongside him either. Right. Likewise, you also have Luis Diaz, who's been sitting on the sidelines as well, who could also be seen as another offensive threat and person that can help alongside Darwin Núñez. I think the responsibility has been a lot bigger this season for Darwin Núñez than it ever was for Sadio Mane or for Roberto Firmino because the surrounding players have not been that great.
That's a good point.
So it's been tough. It's been
very tough.
It's been tough. But I do see the point that, yes, in order for Liverpool to go back to the level that we have been at these past 3-4 years, Nunez will have to become the level of what Fernando Torres was, Sadio Mane at his height, or Luis Suarez, for example, which is a crazy, crazy height. But I just don't think it's fair to gauge it yet based off of the season that Liverpool has had as a whole, the injuries that we have faced, and honestly, what he's done so far, I think, is enough to garner a little bit of belief and faith.
I'll give him a little. But I'm just saying Nunez on the bench against Arsenal in a very big game for Liverpool, not a good look.
Not a good look. Yeah.
But if he can find it within himself, really work this offseason, then you're right. Okay. To make it clear, he has potential. I'm not saying he's a dead end like Werner. I'm just saying I do think he is, in the grand scope of things, I do think he's had a failure of a season.
No.
Because when I just look at those big moments in front of goal, he should be at least finishing most of them.
He should have finished that opportunity against Arsenal, man. He had a one-on-one against Ramsdale.
That was a huge opportunity.
Yeah. This debate will be settled just by following his transfer news. If he ends up being sold by Liverpool, then you're right.
Oh, okay.
I think you're right.
Okay.
If Liverpool sells him, you were right.
Mm.
And if we end up keeping him, assuming Liverpool continues at a very high level, we're not like some mid-table fucking team like this year.
Right.
If he stays at Liverpool and starts putting up those numbers, then I think it'll be proven. At least maybe you get to join my side for that.
Absolutely.
But for now, we're on opposite ends.
Yeah.
And we got a hell of a season awaiting us this upcoming year to see how the hell does this Darwin Núñez project end.
Yeah, and I think another reason why I'm a little, once again, hesitant is because I kind of saw the same thing with Joao Felix. As an Atletico Madrid fan, a guy who was doing really well for Benfica,
Absolutely.
dominating in the Portuguese league, solid in the Champions League, not as good as Darwin, but Atletico pay a lot of money for him. They pay a lot of money for Felix. And what does he ultimately do? Not a lot. Not a lot. And I will say this, every single season I was like, there's something in Felix. There's something in him.
Oh, yeah, you told
Every
me that
year.
was a good bargain. You told me that 120 million was a
was a good
I
bargain.
remember that shit before the pod. I remember
Right.
that shit.
So I'm coming to you as someone who's already been through it. Because what happened? He's at fucking Chelsea now. and there's a chance he's going to be there permanently.
I can see that. That's definitely a possibility. I can see it, bro. I can see that path. I'm not oblivious to it. But I'm saying what Nunez has done in his first season, I think has been better than what Joao Felix did in his first season with Atletico Madrid. Look at the numbers, man. Producer, pull up the numbers. Darwin Núñez stats this season
I
so
just
far.
want to look at league.
Okay.
Just domestic league.
Okay,
Because
let's
I
look at
don't even
Darwin
think. I think
Núñez
it's single digits.
Premier League. I think it's double,
think
but
it's
I might be wrong.
Liverpool 2022 8 goals.
8-3 in 23 matches. That's a good ratio.
It's a decent ratio.
That's pretty good.
It's decent.
It's not incredible, but that's pretty good, man. 11 goals and assists combined.
It's not the same
That's not
player.
that bad. That's 0.5 per game combined. 11 out of 23. It's almost 0.5.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah. And he doesn't play that much. And he's been out for a couple times for injuries or banged up. He got banned. He got suspended for like 4 games in the Prem as well.
He did. That's why he's only played 23 instead of 28.
If you throw in the total number of games that Liverpool has played this season, assuming he started each one of those, if it wasn't for injury or suspension,
Maybe you could have like 12.
he'd be at 10 at the very least.
Right.
That's not that bad. Pull a Timo Werner, bro. I'm just curious. I'm curious to see how Timo Werner did. There you
There it
go.
is.
How he did his first year. I hope it's
You
not
got to click Chelsea.
Chelsea. 4-1, 6-8. He had 6-8 in his first. Fuck. He wasn't
Shit, that doesn't help.
That doesn't help, bro. Fuck. 35 matches. Damn, they played him a lot.
They played him almost every game.
Jesus Christ. And then after that, 4-1 and 21. What was Felix?
Felix,
I know he's a different player. But
Felix probably wasn't.
Joao? 6-1.
6-1, yeah. No, Felix was
That's bad.
Felix was not
Yeah,
productive.
that's-
But he's never been productive.
That's. Damn.
8 is his height for Atleti.
Damn. 8-4, what Nunez is essentially doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's calm down a little bit.
Hey, 8-4 in 24 matches.
Yes, that's basically what he's doing this season. From his first season.
Right.
But what I am curious, just real quick, just random. This is all competitions. I want to see what he's done all. Darwin Núñez, all competitions is what I said.
15 total.
All right, so 14 in all competitions. All right, let's wait and see, man. Let's wait and see.
I definitely see what you're saying. I think I'm coming from a pessimistic point of view,
I know,
right?
I know.
Right.
But I don't think I'm as delusional my first season with Nunez as you were with your first season with Felix.
Right.
And I think you're coming at me as if he had a Joao Felix type of season his first season.
Yeah,
I think it's been a little bit better. A little bit better.
No, he has. Not even statistically.
Tougher league.
Not even statistically. He actually has been better than Felix's debut season with Atletico. But I do think it's because, and this could be just a whole thing on its own. I think Felix is kind of like he's a lost player in the modern game.